In 2016, President Barack Obama and Anthony Bourdain visited Hanoi, Vietnam, and while they were on their trip, they ate at this restaurant and ate at this exact table. It seems like my invite to this dinner party may have gotten lost in the mail, but don't worry, I did make it eventually. I'm just about 8 years late. I mean, come on, every friend group's gotta have one person like that, right? Since I do feel like I missed out a little bit, I'm going to be ordering the exact same thing that Bourdain and Obama had, but since I'm on a mission to make the world's best grilled cheese sandwich, here's the catch. Everything I eat during this meal has to be turned into a grilled cheese sandwich.
This, the grilled cheese. This, grilled cheese. This, grilled cheese.
And maybe, just maybe, if I'm successful in the great grilled cheesification of this meal, I too will get a table immortalized at this restaurant. The restaurant is called Bun Cha Huong Lien. Like many Vietnamese restaurants, this place is named after their most popular dish, bun cha. If you've ever been to Hanoi, you've certainly heard of the dish because it is one of, if not the most popular Vietnamese foods in all of Hanoi.
It's typically eaten at lunchtime, but you can find it for breakfast or dinner. It's honestly a great meal any time of the day.
Bun cha translates to noodles with grilled pork. When you order some, you will in fact receive both noodles and grilled pork, but that's not the whole story. The pork comes in the form of meatballs, but these aren't your grandma's Italian meatballs, no. These ones are seasoned with lemongrass, sugar, green onion, garlic, and fish sauce. They're shaped into small balls and then flattened into discs so they can fit on a wire rack to be cooked over charcoal. Cooking over charcoal gives the meatballs a crispy outer crust that seals in all of the meatballs' juices. And since the meatballs spend a portion of their cooking time literally on fire, the final product has a wonderful smoky flavor.
This fish sauce is a little bit warm and it's smoky because when you put the grilled meatballs into it, it infuses that smoky flavor, heats it up a little bit. So when you get the contrast to the cold noodles, it's very refreshing and very tasty.
If you handed me a bowl of 20 of these things and some chopsticks, I'd happily call it lunch. But luckily in Vietnam, they know how to make an actual well-balanced meal. The smoking hot meatballs are submerged into a sweetened fish sauce called nuoc mam. You can find nuoc mam all across Vietnam, served with many types of food, and it's actually very easy to make, so you can even make it at home. Fish sauce and sugar are added in equal parts to give the sauce a sweet and salty base. Then add rice vinegar and lime for brightness and water it all down a bit. This is the basis for just about any nuoc mam, but you will find a lot of restaurants customizing it with extras like thinly sliced carrots, green papaya, garlic, and chilies. And now that you understand how this sauce has sweet, salty, sour, and even spicy flavors, you will fully appreciate that adding the pork meatballs adds a final smoky and savory flavor to elevate this to a little bowl of perfection. Oh, and even though this looks like a bowl of soup, I promise you, if you whip out a spoon and start slurping, you're gonna get some weird looks.
And how you eat it is you take pieces of the rice noodles, like this, and you dip them into the fish sauce. And eat. You can also eat it with some of these herbs, and of course the meatballs that are in there. So we'll try a little bite of that. That's pretty good actually. In here, in addition to grilled pork meatballs, we also have some pieces of pork belly. You can also add garlic and chilies, so I'm gonna do a little bit of that. And only a little bit of chili because, yeah, I'm weak. We've heard that this place can be a little overhyped, which makes sense. You know, when the President of the United States eats there, gonna get a lot of hype. But I've had a few bun chas around town, and this one actually holds up. It's a little bit more expensive, but it holds up. It's respectable.
If you're planning on visiting Bun Cha Huong Lien, then there's a good chance you're going to be ordering the combo Obama. While the bun cha is certainly the star of this show, I want to take a second to introduce you to some of the supporting actors. Included in the combo Obama is of course the bun cha, but you also get a fried spring roll and a Bia Hanoi. And this is called the combo Obama because this is exactly what Obama had when he was here. In Vietnam, many of the larger cities have their own beer. You'll see Bia Saigon and Bia Hanoi being served all over their respective cities, and a can only costs about 25,000 to 50,000 VND at a restaurant. That's about $1 to $2 US. Sounds like a good deal, right? Well, in Vietnam, you can actually get a beer for quite a bit less than that. This is Bia Hoi. Don't get it confused with Bia Hanoi because Bia Hoi is its own thing. Bia Hoi translates to fresh beer, and it typically costs about 10,000 VND, but there's a few places you can find Bia Hoi being served for only 5,000 VND. If you're traveling on a budget, Vietnam is the place to be.
It's a nice light beer. Not the first time I've had one of those.
The third item you receive in the combo Obama is the fried seafood spring roll. Fried spring rolls, or nem ran as they're called in Vietnamese, are very common throughout the country. I've conducted some research of my own and I've determined that the most common filling is pork and mushrooms, but there's certainly no rules, so you can find them stuffed with just about anything.
They're like spring burritos. These things are huge. Oh wow. There's a lot of seafood. I see a big piece of shrimp in there right now. Let's give this a taste. We'll try dipping it. The Bun Cha is better. This is okay. It's like getting hotter. Alright, so this is pretty good. But I think it would be better if every single part of this was a grilled cheese sandwich. No, seriously, I'm gonna do it.
So just a reminder, the combo Obama comes with 3 items. Those items are a Bia Hanoi, a fried spring roll, and a bowl of Bun Cha. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how I turned each of these items into their own grilled cheese sandwich. But before I do that, let me tell you why I'm doing this. I'm currently traveling through Asia, trying new foods, looking for new flavors that could potentially enhance my grilled cheese sandwiches so that one day I may be able to make the world's best grilled cheese sandwich. This is the 4th episode in the series, and I'm already working on episodes 5, 6, and 7. If you're enjoying this series so far and you want to support me, and don't worry, I'm not going to ask you for money, all you have to do is just make sure you've seen episodes 1 through 3 and that you're subscribed so you don't miss any future episodes. But that's enough blabbing, let me show you what I've made. For the first grilled cheesification, I turned the Bia Hanoi into a beer cheese, and to eat it, I'm dipping in these crunchy Vietnamese breadsticks called Quay Nong. Quay Nong translates to bagel twists, which doesn't really make any sense to me because they're not really bagel-like and they're not twisted, but whatever. I'm not going to give you my full thoughts on this yet because we have 2 more items that we need to grill cheese, and then I'm going to do a taste test of everything at the end. The next dish that will be falling victim to its grilled cheese fate is the fried spring rolls. As you could probably tell, I was not a huge fan of the spring rolls that I had at Bun Cha Huong Lien. I'm not sure if this is just because they were seafood spring rolls and I haven't been eating a lot of seafood spring rolls, but I decided to play it safe and I'm gonna actually make pork and mushroom spring rolls since those seem to be my favorite. That, and I just think it's a better combo for cheese. My plan was simple. Basically, I'd make a regular spring roll with the regular fillings, but I'd also add a cheese stick to the middle. I figured that by putting a cheese stick into the middle of this, it would basically end up becoming a Vietnamese mozzarella stick. And I think we can all agree, that's pretty much a grilled cheese sandwich. So I wrapped everything up in rice paper and fried it. And honestly, it seemed like it was working. But yes, I am gonna make you wait 1 more minute for the taste test while I make the Bun Cha grilled cheese. To make a normal Bun Cha meatball, you would combine pork, sugar, fish sauce, white pepper, salt, garlic, green onion, and lemongrass. Then you'd mix it up, shape it into balls, and fry it. And since that obviously doesn't have any bread or cheese in it, it's not a grilled cheese sandwich at all. But you guys are in luck because I do happen to be a grilled cheese mad scientist. To incorporate the bread, I'm going to be breading the meatballs with breadcrumbs, but I'm also going to be adding some cheese crumbs. Yep, I cooked some cheese in a pan, melted it fully, and then let it harden so that I could crush it up into little crumbs and use those in the breading. But this wasn't cheesy enough for me, so I decided I would also put a little cheese cube inside the meatball. If you're familiar with Italian food, you might understand that what I'm making here is basically a Vietnamese grilled cheese arancini. And since this is the 3rd and final item that we had to turn into a grilled cheese sandwich, you now get a taste test. You've heard of the Obama combo, but it's time for me to introduce you to the Chef Tyler combo. With it, you get fresh herbs, rice noodles, fish sauce, bagel twists, fried cheese rolls, beer cheese, and of course, the Bun Cha arancini. Oh, and before you ask, yeah, there's cheese balls. We did it. Everything is now in grilled cheese form. Let's eat. Let's try the meatballs. On its own first. It's good. Mine are very lemongrassy. I did put a lot of lemongrass in. The cheese is nice, the fried's nice. I'm honestly not missing the grill flavor. Let's try it dipped in the sauce. Not too bad. A little bit of rice noodle action. Now let's try the spring rolls. First, I'll try one of the ones that actually has meat in it. And this is a meaty boy. It's hot, but it's good. Imagine if you combined a mozzarella stick and an egg roll, because that's what this is. That's good. Let's try it in the sauce. That's pretty busting. I do feel like you could go either way with these. Like you could dip them in like a tomato sauce, like a mozzarella stick, or you could dip them in the fish sauce, like you would a fried spring roll. That's good. And now that we've tried it, it's time to wash it down with some beer, right? That's good. It's honestly, it's like the whole meal, but everything's way cheesier. Now it's time for a rating. I think that the fried spring rolls I made with cheese in them were actually a little bit better than the ones we had at the restaurant. The meatballs, I will say, probably were better at the restaurant, but these are pretty good and it's definitely really unique. The beer, I definitely prefer in cheese form. So, as a whole, I'm gonna give this an 8.2. Most of these items were better than I thought they were gonna be, by a lot. I did a good job. Cheers to that. Oh yeah. Now that's a well-balanced meal.
You're like cheese
Oh, look. I'm gonna go shower now.